So when he casually says he doesn't care if more countries get nuclear weapons, I shudder. The last thing we need are more countries with nuclear weapons. I'm trying to reduce the number of nuclear weapons. That's why I negotiated a treaty with Russia to do just that. We don't need more countries. We need fewer countries with nuclear weapons. When he says he wants to withdraw from NATO, the most successful military alliance in history, I say, and what are we going to substitute for it? And how are we going to work with our friends and allies against all the new threats we face? And when he says, well, you know, let the Iranians or the Russians go after ISIS. Well, hello. The last thing we need is Iran taking over Syria, taking over Lebanon, and threatening Israel and Europe and everybody else. So I got to tell you, I am, if I'm so fortunate enough as to be the nominee, I am looking forward to debating Donald Trump come the fall. And you know, finally, we've got to unify America. I mean, a house divided against itself, as Abraham Lincoln said, cannot stand. We can't be scapegoating and finger pointing and blaming and demeaning and degrading and insulting our fellow Americans. Do we have disagreements? Yeah, that's in the DNA. That's healthy. There are lots of different ways to achieve our goals. We set our goals and then we have a good back and forth about how we achieve them. You don't do that by denigrating people, demeaning people. That is not what we are. And it's time that we said enough. We're willing to have good political debates, but enough with the hate rhetoric and the insults. And let's look for ways that we can work together. And let's also recognize what did make our country great. Because you see, I think we are great. But I think we can be greater if we do what we must do. And so many of the targets that Trump aims at and other Republicans aims at, they're part of how we became great. You know, this effort by Republicans to undermine workers' rights and union rights is undermining the middle class, undermining the core of who we are and how our economy operates and how we get stronger and more prosperous. Attacking immigrants, we are a nation of immigrants, right? Attacking Muslims, well, Muslims have to be on the front lines of protecting us against terrorists. They've got to tell us what they hear and what they see. That's what we learned in New York after 9/11. I have lived this. And one of the ways we picked up information was by making sure that American Muslims understood that they were welcome to pick up the phone and to call the police and to report what they saw and what they heard. It helped to keep us safe, and it will again. That's why we can't be dividing ourselves. We need to be united against terrorism. And demeaning and denigrating people with disabilities, that's not who we are. Insulting women, I don't care what he says about me, but I do resent what he says about other people. Other successful women, women who have worked hard, women who have done their part. We are, after all, 51% of the country. I've never seen us have such a divisive campaign. And I'm going to do my best to keep talking about what the issues are, what I see as our future, the kind of positive vision that I have for America. I'm going to build on the good work that has gone before. I'm going to do everything I can to bring people together. I will go anywhere, anytime, meet with anyone to find common ground. Absolutely. That's what I did as First Lady. That's what I did as a senator. That's what I did as Secretary of State. about getting results for America. The way I look at it is, are people going to be better off when I end than when I started? Are more families going to have better jobs with rising incomes? Are more kids going to have better educations and better health care? Are we going to be coming together as a nation instead of falling apart? I think that is our big challenge in the 21st century, because I will tell you, there is no other country, none. I went to 112 countries as your Secretary of State for you. There is no other country that holds a candle to us. When we are good, nobody is better. And I want us to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And I feel especially strongly about that because I have a granddaughter now. And those of you who have grandchildren, you know, you are just obsessed with them. It is really kind of weird. You just sit there and stare at them. And you do it because you're so overwhelmed by love, and you see your child, your son or your daughter, who's now a parent. But it's also because you're thinking about the future. And you're saying to yourself, I don't want anything ever to go wrong for this precious child. I don't want her ever to face hard times, although they come in everyone's life. But you see, it's not enough that my grandchild has opportunities. I want every child and every grandchild here in this city, this state. I want every child to have the same opportunity to grow up and fulfill his or her God-given potential. That is what I will work on every single day in this campaign and in the White House. Please come out and vote on Tuesday. Thank you, Louisville.